My name is Chimwemwe Ndlahoma. I work for the Paralegal Advisory Service Institute from Malawi. Well, I started to be involved or exposed to this work when I was very young, more especially because my father was a police officer, and a lot of my life I've lived in a police camp. And one night he took me to a police station where he was to interview a suspect. And what I witnessed was something horrible, because he was torturing a suspect before my eyes, and I was terrified. He was handcuffed, against the table. So he was whipping me up with a hosepipe, forcing him to make a confession. I suspect that was because police officers they do have they got no knowledge about investigative skills. I'm excited about the change that has taken place ever since I witnessed that horrible incident. When my father took me to a police station and it was this person suspected for me. I think there is now adherence to the law or to the rule of law by our law enforcement officers. Governments have now realized that they cannot go it alone, and they need to have people to help in sort out numerous problems in the formal justice system. Where a person has been arrested, it is where, more especially at that front line, is where a lot of abuses occur. So the presence of a paralegal officer at a police station will help to mitigate, some of the problems, suspects endure during that process. At the same time, our paralegals, will help to mitigate the numerous allegations of police brutality by sitting at a police interview. This has never happened elsewhere. It's happening in Malawi, where a paralegal is allowed to sit at the interview as an observer. In a situation where a suspect has alleged before a magistrate that he was tortured, a police officer prosecuting the case could request a magistrate to adjourn the matter and invite the paralegal to come and testify what he observed during that interview. The police service is very supportive of the work of the paralegals because they have seen that they are there not to spy on their work. The paralegals are there to complement to their work, and they are happy to have the paralegals around. If the formal justice system is clogged, it will mean that a lot of people are going to be affected, and it also means that it impacts a lot on individual poverty as well as public health, including national development. If a person is imprisoned or detained unlawfully or inappropriately, it means that as a breadwinner, it has deepened the household poverty. At the same time, the cost of the government in keeping that person in prison, feeding that person in prison, including the cost of administering the case, are so huge. One thing which we have created to make about reduce the tension is by coming up with a code of conduct that regulates the work of the paralegals at a police station. I think this is very useful because police is a security institution. Being a security institution, our paralegals are just civilians. And how do they mix with the militant people? Our laws are progressive. The Constitution of Malawi and the other constitutions from a number of countries doing paralegal work, and the revolution of trying to domesticate our national laws to make sure that they respect the rights of suspects or people in conflict with the law. I think I'm very excited with this, and if my father was alive, he could have witnessed a lot of change. It's again because of working in partnership, that has helped, to change or turn things around.